Is this going to be our last TikTok debunking video? Is this going to be the last TikTok video on my channel in general? Because supposedly the app is going to get banned very soon. Who knows? Let's just, live every day like it's your last, as they say. And let's do that for this video. So in today's TikTok video, I'm very excited about this one. I have a lot of really juicy ones. So first of all, I have a huge gripe with this video that has been going viral. I have some juicy gossip on this one. I also want to talk about this one. Everybody and their mother tagged me in this one, and I think I can debunk this one as well. And a lot more to come because it has just been a wild few weeks on TikTok. Everybody seems to be really bringing out their A game and tagging me in some good stuff as we are looking at the possible end of TikTok. But first, I want to tell you guys a very quick, embarrassing story. So in 2023, I fell for a texting scam. It was one of those USPS texting scams where they sent you a text saying, hey, your package wasn't delivered. We have it. In order to get it, give us this tiny little fee, like less than $1 in order to get it back. So I stupidly clicked on the link. I was in autopilot and I gave them my credit card information, you guys. I'm not even joking. Thankfully, I almost immediately realized that it was a scam. I canceled my credit card as quickly as I could, and thankfully it was all okay in the end. But this incident taught me a very important lesson, is that this can happen to anyone and you don't have to be in a vulnerable population to fall for it. And if anyone says they would never fall for that, they're lying, because I said that too. And that is why it is so important to have someone protecting your security, because if in 2023 I had Aura, which is today's sponsor, this might have never happened. I could have used Aura's data broker opt-out feature, which would have protected my information, and maybe my phone number wouldn't have gotten in this scammer's hands in the first place. Aura is so much more than just this though. Aura has identity theft protection, so it monitors your personal data using your social security number across billions of data points like the dark web and public court records to alert you about potential identity theft. With Aura, you also get certified data security and privacy. That means that your data is safeguarded by the same security standards that is used with banks and the military. And don't worry, because Aura will never, ever, ever send your data or information to third parties. Aura has even more features though. They have a password manager, an antivirus, 24/7 US-based support, and so much more. I get all of this in one app at one affordable price. I'm not leaving myself or my family vulnerable to data brokers and breaches. If you don't want to either, please go to my link, aura.com/HannahTheHorrible, to get 2 weeks for free. That will be plenty of time for Aura to find out if any of your data has been exposed. That's aura.com/HannahTheHorrible to try 2 weeks for free. Thank you again to Aura for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. As usual, there's absolutely no hate intended towards any of the creators of these videos. Do not go send them hate or anything like that, even if we do say something not as positive over here, please. For the vast majority of these, they're just silly TikToks. Who cares? They're really not hurting anyone, whether they're fake or not. So the first one is this fork video that I got tagged in. You can't make this stuff up. Let's just watch it together, and yeah.
Is going on right now? Oh my god. They said the house is full. Dude, what the fuck? I got chili bugs.
Okay, so if you didn't read the caption, the video says, when I remember, me and my siblings took a video of one of the paranormal things that happened in my brother's haunted house. And a lot of people in the comments are saying that this is really good evidence, that the goosebumps mean that it must be real and stuff like that. Listen, this one, I don't know if their house is haunted or not. I can't speak on that, but I can speak on the fact that this is not a ghost. So the first thing I noticed about this video that kind of raised red flags for me is, why is the person holding the bowl where the fork is moving have to shake it in the middle? I'll show it right here, but they have to like shake it when the fork gets stuck in the bowl. Why would they have to do that if this was a ghost? If this was a ghost, the ghost would just be able to shake it out or pull it out themselves. And if this was a ghost, why would it have to be attached to the bowl at all? It could just pick up the fork itself and like have it move on its own. So that all just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't think this video was edited, but I do have to say, just watching it, even I've watched this video thousands of times now, but that's an exaggeration. But even now, just watching it again with you guys, I also noticed that the sound cuts out for just a second. The sound of the water cuts out for just a second. I'm going to replay that for you right now.
Dude, what the fuck? Dude, what the fuck?
Which to me, I mean, that's not proof of editing, but I do find it a little bit odd. I don't know, it just raises my alarm bells. And then why is the fork moving like that? Again, if this was a ghost, you would expect it to lift up or be knocked off of something. And that's why I have a lot of problem with moving objects for ghosts, because if ghosts were real, why would they only be able to knock stuff off the counter like a cat? If ghosts were real, they would, like, theoretically, we would see things levitate off of tables and stuff because they could pick stuff up, theoretically, right? But all they seem to do is just be able to move stuff off of stuff because it's always somebody with string or a green screen suit. Anyway, so the movement of the fork just does not seem very ghost-like to me as well. So I would like to propose that the most likely cause of this video being made is that the fork got tangled on a hair. I think that there is a hair like tangled on one of the points of the fork, and then that somehow got attached to the sink, or probably didn't get attached around the sink. But you know how like hair can get stuck in tiny, tiny little crevices, like around piping and stuff, and then it's stuck there and you like can't, and when you pull it off, the hair like stays in there. So I kind of wonder if this hair got stuck somewhere weird on the sink, like in one of the cracks, so we can't really see it. If you watch right here on the video, way slowed down, but you can't really get a screenshot of it because it's just a split second of a reflection. Look at this. Do you see it? Like right there is a reflection of something, and I personally think that is the hair that is attached to this fork that is making it move in that way. Does that seem crazy to you? Yes, it does. I mean, it does seem like a long shot that all of those things would happen. However, I do think it's possible, and I think that makes more sense than a ghost in this case. Again, not speaking on whether they're actually haunted or not, but in this particular case, I don't think that this was a ghost. I just think it's odd. Like, I always try to put myself in their shoes, and if this had happened to me, if one of my forks was like kind of flying around halfway and seemed to be in a bowl like this, I wouldn't jump to ghost. I would be like putting my hand there to try to figure out what was attached to the fork and what was making it do that. So I don't know, just a little odd behavior as well. I forgot to say who that TikTok was from. That was from Advice from Izzo on TikTok. Okay, so we're going to move on to TikTok number 2. This one is from Mind Matrix Omega, and the video is not super long, but we have a lot to talk about. I have so many thoughts. This one is stumping people like crazy, and people are defending this one tooth and nail. It's very odd. So let's just watch the clip first, and then it'll make more sense after I give you context. irony of this user saying, write in the comments if you know what this is. And when people give this user logical explanations, they absolutely will have none of it. And this is one of the most defensive people I've seen, doubling down and insisting something is paranormal when it's just not. Apologize in advance. I might get a little condescending in this section because I am low-key frustrated. So first, if you don't understand what's happening in this video, this is not a beach and it's not a bunch of snow. A lot of people were thinking that that's what it is at first, but this is the video of somebody from an airplane looking out the window of an airplane with their phone, taking a video of the clouds below the airplane. The passenger says they're at 30,000 feet in the air at this point and that they are seeing like people and dogs and other animals in the clouds. The poster is very adamant that this is not AI or edited, which I do actually believe them. I think this is a genuine video. But my issue comes in when people do try to give plausible scientific explanations. This poster has none of it, and it's frustrating because they literally, why did you post this if you don't want to know what it actually is? Why are people so attached to their conspiracy theories when there's so much evidence against that? I don't understand why people are so... They want this stuff, this scary stuff to be real so badly. If you go to this person's profile, they have posted 3 different videos of this video trying to convince us that it is completely paranormal and that this is not the explanations that literal pilots are offering. Now, like I said, please do not go give grief to this creator in their comments. If you have anything to say, feel free to leave it in my comments because, well, that helps out my channel anyway, but also just don't harass anybody. Leave them alone. Before we get into the actual explanation, first I want to debunk one other thing. A lot of people on Facebook where this video has been reposted on Facebook and X and all that. So it's mostly boomers, to be fair, but a lot of boomers are commenting on this being like, nah, this is edited because why isn't the plane moving? And bless you boomers on Facebook. To be fair, I am glad that boomers are questioning stuff. Like I am glad because I feel like a lot of them do seem to be fooled by AI more easily than the average person. However, come on. Planes often look like they aren't moving from your perspective or even sometimes from the ground, and it's simply an optical illusion. From what I understand, this illusion is called the parallax effect, and it's basically the fact that because you're in the plane, moving with the plane at the exact same speed as the plane is, it doesn't feel like you're moving. That combined with the fact that when you look out the window, you can't see landmarks rushing by the windows, that gives you the perspective and the feel that you're not moving at all. Because think about it, when you're in a car, you see all the landmarks whizzing by you in the window, which is why you know you're moving forward. So when you look out the window of a plane like this and all you see is clouds and you're moving along with the plane, it does feel like you're not really moving, or it can look like you're not moving as well. Like it would apply to cars. Like if you were in a car and there was absolutely no windows in the back and somebody was driving and you were completely blocked out of the front seat, like it would feel like you weren't really moving because you're moving at the same speed as the car. So just want to clear that up, that this person really is in a plane. Like I said, I don't think this is edited or fake because they really are in the plane. They really are moving along and you can see the people, the cloud people outside kind of moving along. Okay, so now on to the actual juice of the video and why people are freaking out about these cloud people out there. So first, red flag, these people, if these are people or actual beings in the clouds, they're not moving. They're staying perfectly still. Nothing is moving. I can see why people think that this looks like people. It definitely does at first, but it's the pareidolia effect. The pareidolia effect, you guys know, we've talked about this a million times on the channel. It's that humans tend to be biased bias towards our own species. So we see patterns in unrelated stimuli a lot of the time. It's why a lot of people see faces on the moon or faces in bark or faces in outlets, because we want to see eyes and a mouth in stuff. It's especially prevalent for faces. Humans are especially biased for faces, but it can be stuff like this as well. So the pareidolia effect is making our brain see a person. Like, we want to see what our brains attribute that thing most to. But the logical scientific explanation for this is that this is either smokestacks, this is either cooling towers from beneath the clouds, and the steam is coming out, or it's factories and there's smokestacks or steam coming out and they're going through the clouds, and so you can see them from the plane. So look at a picture of this again and look at it from the perspective of it being smokestacks. And then here's another picture somebody posted on Twitter of this same phenomenon from a different angle. So from a much lower angle, this is what it might look like. So if you look at it from that point of view, and then maybe the way the sun is reflecting on the smokestacks, it is causing a shadow on the steam or on the smoke or whatever it is on the clouds. So that's why when you zoom out in this video, that's also what you're seeing is factories down below. Now, many people who have talked to their pilot friends, that's anecdotal, but still people are saying that the pilots are saying that, are confirming that theory. And when an actual pilot comes in his comments, so this pilot Ken, says, pilot here, they're power stations, industrial units and factories, just pollution and steam ascending through low cloud, a totally normal sight since forever for those whom have had a daily view like this. Now, remember, this user said, comment what you think it is. So a pilot who sees stuff like this all the time goes, okay, I'll comment and let you know what it is. Like, just think about that for a second. And the OP responds to a pilot with this. Since this comment gained so many likes, let me clarify one thing. At this point, the plane was in 30,000 feet. It's impossible that this was caused by pollution, etc. Also, there was more clouds below. You're arguing with a pilot. Do you know how much experience pilots have? A lot. Are you kidding me? And so Ken replies, he's like, sorry, sir, science doesn't agree with you. I feel like Ken is being so nice in spite of this, like, determined ignorance. You can have several layers of cloud from surface to 30,000 feet. It's pollution. Sorry. Good video though. So like I said, Ken's being so sweet and still trying to like give him the benefit of the doubt. And I'm not kidding. The OP continues to argue with people, saying that it's not possible, that it's pollution. What? I'm sorry. What if a pilot dies? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. I just want to point out that I am not a pilot. I have absolutely zero experience flying planes. And even I have logical sense to understand that just because there's layers of cloud doesn't mean that pollution can't go through it. It's like this person doesn't understand that clouds are not solid. Maybe this person's really young and maybe they have not gone to, high school yet or something like that. Because literally, like, I'm sorry. Okay. Clouds, like, fog, that's clouds. Like, that's how see-through clouds are when you're in the middle of them. So the fact that he thinks that it couldn't possibly go through layers of clouds makes no sense. And then the other argument of it being at 30,000 feet also means absolutely nothing. It's all perspective. Just because you're at 30,000 feet, those clouds are super low. Those clouds are way below the plane. Those clouds are not at 30,000 feet. So if they're way below the plane and way closer to the ground, even from your very, very high up height, it would still look like this. Exhibit A, that picture we looked at from X earlier, where when you were much closer, it looks like this, and from 30,000 feet, it'll look like this. Okay. Are you okay? Like, why are you so desperate for this to be something nefarious when it's not? The other thing that they try to point out is that this has happened before. Somebody saw a robot or a giant Iron Man in the sky and was like, look at the news, like, to prove that this has actually happened. This OP posted a video about this news article. And so I was like, bet. I went to the news article, and sure enough, same conclusion. People in there, like, from pilots saying that this is pollution / stacks of smoke from factories. Okay, I'm gonna stop dogging on this person, and we're gonna move on to the next TikTok because we have to move on. And don't worry, they won't be the only one I'm a little bit mean to in this video. Okay, TikTok number 3 is another La Llorona video. This is from the account Shine Bright with Star. I just want to give you all a heads up. There is excessive barking and howling in this one from dogs, as often goes with La Llorona videos. So if you have dogs and you're not wearing headphones, they might go nuts when we watch this. Just FYI.
So we all heard of La Llorona, right? And to be honest, I only heard of her but never seen her until this chilling video. And yes, I believe this is one of the most raw evidence of La Llorona caught on camera ever. This TikToker posted what looks like to be a surveillance video of what appears to be outside of his home late at night. You can see his dogs barking, but you can also see something on the other side of the camera. Now, just for a little context, I did check out his TikTok page, and it seems like he posts kind of just random thing that goes on day-to-day lives. So as far as what was on the video, I believe is 100% true. But as always, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments if you guys think this is real or not.
Okay, so my take on that video is just that, like, it's a nothing video. I mean, nobody can determine anything from that video. Literally anything on a security camera, notoriously bad camera qualities, from a distance like that, from somebody so far away, and it's dark. There's no way to get a good enough video to see what that thing is at all. I'm not sure why she thinks this is such compelling evidence for La Llorona, because it could just be a person. It looks like it's just a person. Watch it again as they walk in the distance. And again, watch it from the lens of it just being a regular person walking kind of slowly down the road. I might be convinced if I saw this security camera when somebody else is walking by. Like if either they showed us footage of someone else walking by and the person, a real person walking by, looked very different than this, or if the creator recreated it in the when it was dark and they like went that far away and also walked in the distance, maybe I'd be convinced. This next video is from Empowered Healing KVX. This is that Christmas ball video, the glitch in the Matrix one that I got tagged in more times than I could count, and we got to talk about that one now.
But she's gone now.
Poor sweet baby Angel lost her play ball. She was playing with that ornament. Pretty easy explanation for this one as well. If you slow the video way down again and look very carefully, I think right when the ball goes under her, like in between her legs, her left foot kicks it and kicks it under the tree or under the tree skirt, and we don't see it. So it's one of those videos, we've seen these types of videos before, where somebody walking in front of somebody at the perfect timing makes it look like they disappear into thin air, where really they're just obstructed by another person. And I am fairly confident that that is what happened here. And I think it just went behind her teddy bear back there or something. And so she just couldn't find where it had gone and didn't see it roll, so she missed where it went. Now, the creator completely denies this and has posted another video saying, like, slowing it way down and saying, look, she doesn't kick it. It literally disappears. No, literally, if you slow-mo it, you can't see the ball because the camera is only shooting from one angle, so you can't see where the ball went. And the other interesting thing is that the creator turned off comments to this video when this video has millions upon millions of views, which I just find very fascinating. To be fair, I don't know the reason. Maybe there's another legit better reason that she turned off comments, but from an outsider's point of view, it kind of feels when you do that you're just not open to feedback and that you don't want to know that you're sick of people telling you that it's not a glitch, that literally she just like kicked it. How much do you want to bet she found that when she cleaned up her Christmas decorations and just never said anything? Like, how much you want to bet that she did find where that ball finally went? Okay, this next one is from _Sunwell, also known as Cats and Facts on TikTok. This one went massively viral, and buckle in and get a snack or a drink because, oh boy, do I have a lot to say. This is the other one that I might get a little bit mean.
Something, oh my God, oh my God. I hope you can hear this. It sounds like gorillas fighting in the tree. They're breaking limbs bigger around than me. I've never seen anything like it in my life. This is the second time I've come over here, and the first time when I got up under them trying to figure out what it was, they started breaking limbs off and throwing them at me, and I still cannot figure out what it is. Look, they're ruining this freaking place. What in God's name is it? It's bigger than me, whatever it is. Because it's breaking limbs off that it would take me 2 minutes to saw. Look, see, he's coming right above me right here. He's fixing to throw something at me, whatever it is. Yeah, they don't like you messing with them. Look. What in God's name is going on? Look, that's bigger than me. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. What in Jesus' name is doing this? Oh my God, he just took half the tree down. Something, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, it's gotta be I don't even think a bear would have a chance in Hades and it doing this. It's something stronger than a bear. And he is pissed. Yeah, that's a healthy tree. About 8 to 10, maybe even 12 inches in diameter that he just broke because he's pissed because I'm getting close to him. I think I'm gonna bounce because I think he just hit the ground, which means he's about to face me on foot. And I don't really want to wrestle with somebody that can tear trees down just because they're mad. My God, look at the tree he just freaking broke in half.
Are you guys ready? Buckle in. This is going to be a journey. I thank you to everyone who tagged me in this one because this sent me down a rabbit hole. Now, I'm so excited to tell you about it though. The first thing about this video that a lot of people were saying is, you know, in South Carolina, monkeys got out of a lab. So there was, in the comments, everybody saying that a bunch of chimpanzees escaped from a research facility and they got some of them, but they know that they didn't get all of them and some of them are still on the loose. So a lot of people were theorizing that perhaps it was these chimpanzees that were in the area doing this, climbing the trees and breaking these trees. Chimpanzees can be huge and massively incredibly strong. So you know what? Like, honestly, I was like, fair. Like, Matt, that might be it. I'm going to consider that a theory. That also happened just in November, and this was posted just, you know, a few weeks later. So that makes sense. However, that theory quickly falls apart when you actually look it up and find out that they were not chimpanzees that escaped this research facility. They were actually rhesus macaque monkeys, which only get to be like 12 for females, 17 for male pounds fully grown. So that in itself takes this theory off the table. This is not escaped monkeys. And then a lot of people have tried analyzing this video. A lot of people have tried to take screenshots showing a creature in the trees and shadows that look like a creature doing this and claiming they saw it in the video, and I can assure you they didn't, and they're making shit up because I have yet to see one screenshot from this that can't just be explained by a shadow or by a branch. I am confident that you don't actually see whatever is doing this in the video. And then I saw some comments from people who are from South Carolina going, this is weird because you're posting this in the winter time, and South Carolina, our trees do not look like that in the winter time. Fun fact, South Carolina trees would not have foliage on them like this. This has to be the spring, if not the summer, maybe, but most likely the spring. So that doesn't make any sense. And yet every time I'm seeing this video, I'm still seeing it attributed to this account. And this is where my meanness comes in, because Cats and Facts / Sunwell, I have a bone to pick with you. The original poster of this TikTok stole it. They stole this video. This video is not from winter 2025 / end of 2024. This video is from May of 2022, and it was originally posted on YouTube by someone else. This TikToker stole this video without any context, without letting people know that this was somebody else's video that they were reposting, acting like it was his own, acting like this is him in the video, and has not said a peep since. This is a problem. That is theft. That is not fair use. That is straight up stealing. What are you doing? That is so misleading and freaked a bunch of people out just to get views, and it makes me sick. Okay. I found the original video. The original video was posted on May 26th, 2022 on the real account. The actual poster of this account goes by JeffX1414. South Carolina is tagged in the video, and that would then make sense why the trees are full of foliage, because this was posted in the spring and not in the winter. So that now makes sense. That also further confirms that this is not monkeys, even though, as I explained, we already know that it's not, but also the monkey thing happened just at the end of last year, and this was 2 years ago. So things are starting to unravel. Now, the originator of the video did mark it as okay for kids or made for kids, which I see in a lot of like old videos, or people that aren't actually YouTubers, they just post random stuff. A lot of the times I think they just mark it like, oh, well, kids could watch it. There's nothing inappropriate in it. And they don't realize they're actually marking it as made for for kids, and therefore YouTube turns off the comments for obvious reasons. So the comments are turned off, unfortunately, on this video, but the description says, "This happened to me when I was headed to fish at an apartment lake around 11 p.m. Approximately 30 seconds after I quit videoing, the entire tree popped so loud and then fell, and I got out of there." So the person in this video, I'm kind of surprised, but in this video they say like, this isn't a bear, this couldn't be a bear. And to that I say, why not? Let me explain. So South Carolina, sure enough, does not have grizzly bears. So this probably isn't a grizzly bear. However, South Carolina does in fact have black bears. And as we know, here's a video of it, black bears can climb. Not only can they climb, but they actually climb quite well. It's kind of scary. But a black bear couldn't snap a tree in half. Yes, it could. Bears actually damage a lot of trees. It's actually a problem in some areas because they really fuck up the forests in a lot of places. They scratch the bark off a lot of the times just because they're trying to mark their territory, but they also scrape off the bark to get underneath in the trees to get the sapwood under the bark. They are very destructive towards trees because they are trying to get that sap because it's a good source of carbs and they really like it. And when you Google this, fancy that, they say that it happens most often in the early spring when bears are looking for this sap. I think it has to do with the fact that the sap, there is the most sap around this time of year, like it just formed. So I don't understand why this can't be a bear. And honestly, I think what's most likely happening is that it's multiple bears. There's probably multiple black bears in a family that climbed up, scaled that tree, and is ripping branches off. If you still don't believe me, here's a video I found on YouTube of some trees just straight up snapped in half.
This broken off tree and the one behind me were on their way to becoming the towering coast redwood trees that you see along the coasts of southern Oregon and northern California. These ones and the two behind me were just getting to the point where they were starting to outgrow all these brushy species around them and be free to grow into giant redwood trees. But it's not going to happen, because bears killed them.
Now, to me, at least, I know that it sounds crazy that these trees being so big, they could do that. But to me, they look about the same in diameter as the trees in the video we just watched. So to me, this is totally plausible and would make way more sense than a Sasquatch, who we don't know. Even if Sasquatch were real, from people that have done, you know, the research that can be done on it, they don't seem to climb trees as far as I know. But that's really besides the point. Now, some skeptics like me think this video could be set up because why is this guy so calm? And to me, I don't personally, that doesn't really surprise me because he's fishing, so he's an outdoorsman. But also, if you look at the video, he's on a deck. Like, he's elevated on a deck near a house. I don't have that in my place, but if I'm at my parents' house, they have a pretty big house and they have a deck out back that has a lot of stairs down to the actual ground. And so even if there's a bear out in the yard, we'll go out on the deck and go watch it because my parents do get bears in their yard. We have a lot of black bears, and we'll go, like, if we see it, we'll like rush out the back door because we want to scare, we do want to scare it away. We don't want it to get comfortable on the property because we have dogs and Winnie's really little and she's there a lot and stuff. But we do go out, like, nothing is scary from the deck because you're elevated, you're away, and the door is right behind you. So if anything were to charge at you, you could just book it right back into the house. So it doesn't surprise me that this guy is calm. So all that to say, my conclusion is, Sunwell, shame on you for stealing somebody's video to go viral on TikTok and never fessing up to it, at least that I could find. And to Jeff X1414, I'm sorry that someone stole your video because you were the one that deserved the views. All right, that's enough. We gotta move on. This next video is from Cybervision, and all I have to say is, oh boy, we might all be doomed.
I think that's retrospective.
So when I said we might all be doomed, it wasn't because I was scared of an alien invasion. It's because I'm scared of how many people believed this. So first of all, the biggest red flag is that the craft in this same video clip changes like 2 or 3 times. Like it looks like 2 or 3 different crafts throughout the video. Makes no sense. But regardless of that, if anybody just takes the 2 seconds to go to this person's profile, it literally says VFX artist right in their bio. Now, a lot of people just think this is AI, which I have to say, if it is AI, I don't know if you can call yourself a VFX artist, because I think that implies that you're doing all the CGI yourself. And if you're just inputting AI, which you shouldn't do anyway, by the way, anti-AI here now that I've learned more about it, that I don't know if you could really call yourself a VFX artist, but maybe they make other stuff or something. I don't know. Either way, this is either CGI and or AI. It's fake. It says it's fake on his profile where it says that it's all computer generated. I think he should have tagged this video as computer generated, but again, that kind of stuff doesn't get views on TikTok. So I get especially frustrated when people don't mark things with CGI or VFX, or especially AI, of course, because it's just so irresponsible. It's just like, okay, I get it. I know you want the views, but I don't know. It's just so irresponsible to me. It's immoral to use the AI in the first place because it's art theft to produce shit like this. Again, I don't know if this person used AI. Maybe they created this entire thing themselves from CGI, but I doubt it. So I don't know. I don't know. It just rubs. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm scared. Okay, so moving on. This is box spearfishing. So let's just watch it first. Very smart. Just like, bye, I'm leaving. Okay, so a ton of the comments and the little automatic search thing that comes up in TikTok is a mountain snake or mountain snake screaming. And I can tell you right now, ignore everybody saying that in the comments because they're lying. They're trolling. When I went to go look that up on TikTok, nothing but like animatronic snakes came up and other weird shit. Like I couldn't find even something called a mountain snake. All that, when I looked that up, it was just videos of snakes on mountains. No such thing as a mountain snake as far as I know, unless that's a euphemism that Gen Z came up with that I don't know what it means and I'm out of the loop, which is completely possible because I'm getting old, so that would be fair as well. But I just want to let everybody know this is not a snake. Snakes can't make that sound. There's no snake in the world, at least from what I googled, there's no snake in the world that can scream like that. Snakes can pretty much only hiss and or rattle if they have, rattlesnakes and stuff like that. But there's no snake that can mimic sounds or scream like a woman. If it wasn't a snake, I was just trying to figure out what animal this could be. Jamaica doesn't have mountain lions, and a lot of the common animals that can scream like this are not going to be in Jamaica, let alone the Jamaican jungle. Where he's at, by the way, it's called the Sea Ball Hole in Jamaica, which is pretty incredible. But if you go to this person's profile and see the follow-up video to this, he claims that he went back to that area around nighttime when it was dark and heard the same scream and was, getting concerned. But this is kind of where the whole thing falls apart, because if you notice, the scream is exactly the same as the first video that actually goes viral. Like, it's not like a similar scream. It is the exact same audio. So here, I'll put them one after another so you can hear them side by side so you can know what I'm talking about. Super quick correction. There was music over the other one, so it was really hard to hear the scream, but I went to his profile and found that he's actually reused this audio quite a few times. So instead, I'm going to show you just part of the original video that we just watched together, and then right after that, a video that he took in the same spot, but different video near the same hole 2 days later, and just listen to the audio. So I am fairly confident that he just took this audio and overlaid it over his video later, which would make sense why his reactions don't perfectly match up to that. Like when he's going, you could just be reacting to seeing the hole and how terrifying that hole is, because I wouldn't be anywhere close to that hole, because knowing me, I would fall in. And then him walking away and stuff, it just feels very overlay-y to me. So I'm pretty sure he edited that in, and that is pretty well confirmed when I'm confident he used the exact same audio for his other video. All right, this next one is from Forgotten Treasures in Real Life. So not only does that look like a hand, but it kind of looks like a child's hand. And if you go to the profile, there's no explanation, no follow-up. Everybody has questions and they are not saying a peep on whether it was real or not. And I see that, I feel like I see that a lot in these like adventure TikTok accounts. I feel like we see that a lot in like these people going to abandoned places, people going to really wild, wacky, dangerous places. I feel like a lot of the time they will post stuff like this and then just never say anything ever again. I suspect because they know that if they don't talk about it, more people will be confused and therefore give the video more views. That's just a suspicion. Anyway, credit to the comments for this explanation. I didn't come up with this on my own, but I do agree with the comments that are saying that this is a glove. This is most likely either a red, orange, or kind of skin colored latex glove that was probably not inflated, but probably more like filled with something, but maybe inflated. I guess that's possible. And then just rolled it in the mud a bunch, rolled it around in wet mud, and then jammed it into one of the crevices of the cave. And then they just filmed it as they were going by. And that was it. I mean, it's only like a few seconds of TikTok. Anyone could have done this, but I do low-key think that the guys in the video, taking the video, probably did it themselves and just lodged it in one of the cracks in order to make this viral video. The reason I think that is because the mud still looks wet, like it still looks pretty fresh. And I guess I've never been in that cave, so I don't know how moist it is in there. And perhaps the mud stays wet even if it's exposed to air like that and not on the ground with the other water. But you would think that the mud would be all dried up on that glove. And then for the other people saying that, there's a thumbnail, I can see a fingernail on that glove. No, you can't. Zoom in really close, use your noodle. It's just a reflection of light. It's a very dark place and they're using flashlights. They're shining flashlights everywhere. It's just a reflection of either their flashlight or the flash on the camera. And then last, compelling evidence that this is fake is the fact that where's the rest of the body? Because that is one fresh looking hand. If that was just pretending for a sec that it was a hand and it wasn't a glove, that thing is not decomposed whatsoever. And if the murder or death happened so recently, then the rest of the body would be somewhere. There would be blood or something. And if that was not the case and it was just a hand, then it would be bones. The hand would have decomposed a long time ago if it was old. So just nothing about this makes sense. I'm pretty sure that it was just a little prank that these guys did to get more eyes on their TikTok. Okay, so the Mundane Moms account is next. I might believe this one. I say that I hate even admitting that. I love debunking. I love being skeptical. It's my favorite. I don't know, you guys. This one, if this is fake, it's very well done. Let's just say that. So, okay, let's just watch. Let's watch together and yeah.
Really quick note for this one as well. So there's Christmas music in this video that is unfortunately copyrighted. And so I had to edit this video quite a bit. So what I did was take out the original Christmas music, but I'm just cutting back in when they say something and putting captions on it so that you can hopefully get a good idea of what is still going on. So make sure to read the captions if you can as we go along. Okay.
That's an ice cream. Let's do it. This one's Granddad. Bác ra đi xe này, sao không hát được nào? Sao chứ ngồi ở cởi?
That one makes me tear up. I can't with that. If my future kid ever does this to me, I'm gonna cry. Not because of the how sweet it is, but because I'd be terrified. Okay, the reason that I cannot debunk this and why I think it might be real is because I've looked at it from every angle, you guys. I have looked at it from every angle, and I cannot figure out any way that this could plausibly be faked. So let me just walk you through my thought process. She has a reason for filming this. She vlogs on her TikTok. She takes little videos like this all the time. If you vlog, setting up your Christmas tree is something you're gonna vlog. And she was obviously playing Christmas music and then puts up this ornament for Grandpa. So there's a logical explanation why she would be filming this. Mom has talked about on this channel how she is a single mom, and that's a lot of her brand is talking about why or how it's hard being a single mom. And in a video that was posted before this video, mind you, she talked about how she doesn't socialize much and how it's rare when she gets to talk to another adult and everything, which I'm sure a lot of parents in general can relate to, especially single parents. I just point that out because then it's plausible and likely that nobody else was in the house. The child in this video looks like the age that mom claims that he is, which is 2. And if you're not familiar with developmental stages, I am pretty familiar with them because of, first of all, I've taken developmental psych classes. I worked in daycare with these ages from babies to 2 years old for years. I've babysat. I have a lot of experience with kids. One of my friend couples, actually our artist for the Camping Cryptids, he has a 2-year-old that I see all the time. So I'm pretty well versed in around this age range. And this is the age range for, if you don't know, they are talking, but wow, neither is my vocabulary, but their vocabulary is not vast. So usually like kids have about the same, they can talk pretty much as well as an adult by age 5. Whereas when you're 2 years old, you're still making a lot of mistakes. You're just learning. You're starting to understand things. Like you can, most likely when you're 2, you can understand all the colors. You can understand all the animals. And like, if you ask a 2-year-old, what does a cow say? They'll be able to say moo. So they're conceptualizing, they're understanding, but it's not vast. So they're not stringing full sentences together. They're saying just a few of the words together, like mama over there and stuff like that, or instead of mom, look what's over there, as a 5 or 6-year-old might say. So the reason I bring that up is because mom says that she has no idea where he learned the word ghost, let alone possibly learning what it means. See, I see that. I get that. I am like that too. I'm trying to look at this critically, you guys, and I can't come up with anything because all the 2-year-olds I've worked with also did not know what a ghost is, and you would not risk explaining something that potentially frightening to a child so young you can't adequately explain to them why, you could comfort them saying like, oh, ghosts aren't real, don't worry, or ghosts are friendly or something like that. Like, why would you risk the nightmares, or why would you risk freaking them out it'd be hard for them to conceptualize something like that, something so out of this realm when they barely have a grasp on actual reality at this age. I don't know. I just really believe her when she says that the kid would have no way of knowing what a ghost is. The music then stops right as they're talking about Grandpa and putting the ornament on the tree, which to me very much feels like Grandpa telling them that he's there. The kid is actually scared and being like, ghost, ghost, and not sure what to do, and goes to his mom and out of nowhere gets scared like nothing happened. All she did was kiss an ornament to be like, Grandpa, we love you, you're in heaven now. And then all of a sudden the kid is all scared and goes to mom and cuddles up to her. But then the kid is looking in the corner, and that look at this kid's face when his face suddenly relaxes and he's suddenly kind of almost giggling and interacting and pointing. And to me, that says Grandpa, he sees Grandpa, and Grandpa realized that he's scared, like realizes that what he's seeing is probably frightening him. So Grandpa made a silly face or did something super funny so that he would realize that he wasn't anything to be scared of. That's what it looks like to me, is that he goes from being terrified to being like, oh my God, what is that? And then all of a sudden he's with mom, and then he's like, oh my gosh, it's so funny. This is insane. Like, mom seems really, really confused at first, but she's trying to stay calm. By the way, mom, I'm not a parent, so I wouldn't judge a mom anyway, but you handled this so well. The way that you were just like, what's wrong? And not just like, you validated his feelings. You weren't just like, oh, you're fine, that doesn't make any sense, or ignored him. You were like, come cuddle with mama, and you were trying to figure out, oh my God, you did such a good job, A+ parenting. And then just the fact that you would not be able to get a 2-year-old to act all this out. I think of like Michelle Tanner from Full House. When she was only 2, they could get a couple words out of her, and they could barely get Mary-Kate and Ashley to say that much. Like, they could get her to script out a couple things or walk in a room and walk out. But how would you script this entire thing? Get the kid right after I put the ornament on the tree. That's when you're going to say ghost, ghost. And then you're going to come up to mama. Then you're going to turn around. Then you're going to point. Then you're going to start laughing. No way. Not a toddler. Absolutely not. Not possible. It all lines up, you guys. Okay. So if I was being incredibly critical and incredibly nitpicky, this is the only scenario I could come up with where this would be fake. Maybe a long time before this, they started conditioning the kid with the word ghost to mean a certain mask or a certain costume. Stick with me here. So they taught the 2-year-old, they've been teaching the 2-year-old for weeks that they have this, they have a bunny costume. Totally random, completely irrelevant, but say it's a bunny costume. And they've been teaching this 2-year-old that the bunny costume is a ghost. That, you know, with the thing over the head and everything, right? So let's say mom did have somebody over that was hidden away out of frame of the camera. This person was dressed up in the bunny costume and then just appeared out of nowhere, and the 2-year-old sees them, and that's why the 2-year-old is saying ghost, because mom taught him that the bunny costume, whoever's in the bunny costume, is a ghost, right? So maybe they like prepped and primed him that way. And then the guy or the girl, whoever was in the costume after he said ghost, took the mask off or took the hood off to be less scary. And then the little kid recognized who it was. It was an aunt, uncle, friend, something. And then the person was like, oh, it's just me. Hi. And that's why the kid was like kind of shy, but he was like, oh, okay. You know, that's the only scenario I can possibly come up with where this would be set up. And that is possible, but just so unlikely to me. That just seems more unlikely than this being a ghost. And I have to go with Occam's razor here. And Occam's razor to me says the most likely explanation is that this is a ghost, because the unhinged nature of setting all of that up and then potentially scaring and scarring your kid is just not likely to me. It's possible this is set up. Maybe I'm super naive, but I've looked at this every angle, you guys. I cannot think of a reason how this is set up. So maybe it's not a ghost though. Like maybe it's not set up. Maybe this is a genuine footage all the way through. Mom really caught this, but perhaps the kid did see something else on the wall. Like maybe the kid did see a spider and had a previous experience with a spider that scared him, and then it disappeared when mom saw him or something. Maybe it's something like that. Like that is possible, I guess. Maybe the kid saw something out the window, saw a bird out the window or something, but that still doesn't explain how he knew the word ghost. It also doesn't explain the timing with the grandpa ornament and the music. And it also doesn't explain the way he was scared and then suddenly warmed up and was happy again and was giggly. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but I don't know if I can be convinced that this one's fake. I won't say the most compelling video I've seen, since I always think they're all fake, but this one might be running for first here, you guys. So yeah, I guess, yeah, the only other thing I can possibly think of is maybe a mental health condition. Like we've talked about kids having hallucinations and stuff, but even that, again, how does he know the word ghost? And then also 2 seems too young for hallucinations to set in. Wouldn't that be more of like a 5 to 10 years old thing? But I'll put a correction on the screen if I got that wrong.
Okay, sorry, cutting in here one more time just to say that I did some cursory research. I am by no means an expert and did not dig too deep into it. But from what I found, it does seem like children, even as young as 2, can actually experience hallucinations. And a lot of children actually experience hallucinations in adolescence and childhood as part of normal development, like not even connected to any sort of mental illness, which was really interesting. So it is possible. Most of the stuff I saw, it did seem to be older kids, like after 5, but who knows? It could, I guess, in toddlers, could have some sort of hallucination. So maybe that's a possibility in this case.
Okay, and the last one for today is going to be from the podcast, 2 Girls, 1 Ghost. And they have a podcast, but they, like a lot of podcasts, they post little clips on TikTok. So this one was fun.
We have a really creepy video to talk about that someone shared with us last night. As context, our listener Madison has come onto Campfire Stories prior to this, and she had stayed at the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Very haunted. We've done a whole episode on it. They did a ghost tour with their family and took a photo, and it looks like they very clearly caught what is a ghost caught on camera. And it's like the legs and feet of perhaps one of the ghosts at the hotel. Then she was talking to someone who works at the Crescent Hotel, telling them this story, and the woman she was talking to goes, "Hold on to your butt. I've got something for you." And shared a video that another guest of the hotel had taken.
Yeah, so the woman is panning, like talking about being at the hotel, and like pans from her friend on the bed to the cooler where they had drinks, and you see a little ghost girl there. That's what Madison said. So I was expecting for it to pan and for us to see like just like the glimpse of a little girl.
Right.
This girl is sprinting her ass off, horror movie style, across the screen.
Girls trip, most haunted hotel in America, and my nightstand on the creepy door is my eyes shut. So early bedtime, looking for ghosts.
And if we slow it down, we'll play it for you here. And if you're watching the YouTube video, as you slow it down, like you can see the ringlets of her hair. You can see that she's wearing a white dress. I also this morning, of course, I was showing my hairdresser. I went frame by frame. You can see her shadow on the wall.
Oh, that gave me chills.
Like right before she enters frame, you see her shadow on the wall first.
Oh my God.
And then you see what's like a blue bow. Oh, I'm getting so many chills. You see like a blue bow in the back of her hair.
Holy shit.
This one I also can't, I mean, this one's pretty impossible to actually debunk unless we were to have evidence that somebody edited this in. So I don't know. I did try to slow this down. I like put it on my camera and tried to get a screenshot of just the little girl. And I will admit there's absolutely no clear shot of the little girl. Like she blurs by so unbelievably fast that it does look like a ghost. I'd be really curious to know if the people who took this video saw anything in the moment or if they didn't see until they were reviewing the footage. And then the other thing people were saying, a lot of people have a gripe with the fact that there's a shadow on the wall, because they're like, why would a ghost have a shadow? Ghosts don't have shadows. And to that, I'm like, well, we don't know that. We don't know anything definitively about ghosts, because it's still possible. There's still a possibility that ghosts do not exist whatsoever, that ghosts are completely not real at all. Like, that is a possibility. We have to accept that. And therefore, research into ghosts is very hard because it's not a science. And so it's very, very difficult to actually definitively say if ghosts have shadows or if they don't. Maybe they have shadows when they are showing themselves, but they don't other times. The most suspicious part to me about this video personally is that she's just randomly taking a video being like, girls trip. Like, I will say the setup of this video does seem a little convenient, because like, I don't know, again, like, think of your friends in a hotel room. Why wouldn't you film your friends, like saying hi, or being, filming yourself, like talking about that? And it just seems a little weird and a little convenient that she sweeps by that, and then as she goes back, then this thing runs across. On the other hand, people are like, well, if this was set up and this was a little girl in a gown with a blue bow and she runs by really fast, and then this was likely, if that were the case, it was edited, wouldn't she have smacked into the wall after that? Like, wouldn't she have like smacked straight into the wall because she runs towards the bed? And to that I say, well, it could be video edited. I mean, they could have had a little girl, or they could have had somebody really short or something like that dress up in a little white dress and a blue bow in the back of her hair, and then run by really quick, but then was able to edit them to make it look like they were zooming by really fast. And perhaps in real life, they just went by fast, but then just landed on the bed or something like that. So I don't know if that like definitely proves anything for me. So that's my take on this video. I'll have to check out their podcast though. I think I've heard of Two Girls, One Ghost, but I've never like actually listened to it. So maybe I'll have to check them out. But they seem like my vibe. They seem like my type of girls. But me personally, I don't know. It's just pretty hard to determine if that is not edited. It's just kind of, I don't know. And like I said, the setup is just kind of weird. So jury's out on that one. I mean, the compelling part is that it is the Crescent Hotel, which is incredibly supposedly haunted. And a lot of people have said they've seen stuff there. So who knows? I would be interested to know the history of the hotel and if there was a little girl with a blue bow there or something like that. So that'd be interesting. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Hopefully this is not the last TikTok debunking video, and hopefully there's many more to come. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed anyway. Please like the video to support the channel. Please like the video. It's the easiest, fastest, freest way to support the channel. Camping Cryptids merch as always, the Patreon as always if you want bonus content and want more of me, and the private Discord server and all that. And yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Speaking of patrons, thank you so much to all the patrons on the screen right now. Special shout out to our two newest top tiers, Sleeby, thank you so much for joining the Patreon, as well as Shoemam, which I hope I'm saying both of your usernames right, but Shoemam is the other new one. Thank you guys so much for your additional support. It is always very much appreciated and does not go unnoticed. I'll see you guys in the next one.